on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome start to your weekend. Today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. That's right, 10 years ago, poor old Laszlo paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas, which by today's standard, that's around $91 million. So those are some pretty expensive pizza pies. But we do need to talk about what's going on with the Bitcoin price. Well, it is green today. We have had a nice little bit of a bounce back from yesterday's dump. Now, discussing what happened yesterday, we got down to about $8,800. We have currently bounced back. However, we are still somewhat in the Bitcoin danger zone, but the fact that it was bought up could be taken as a short-term bullish signal. However, we need to discuss what is going on with Bitcoin. Have people become a little bit too excited? Is Bitcoin looking for a potential further sell-off? Well, in today's video, I want to talk about basically what Bitcoin needs to do exactly in order to hit a $15,500 target. I also want to talk about why most people are probably going to be very surprised about what Bitcoin does in the next several months, and most people will probably be on the wrong side of the trade. And I do unfortunately have some news that, we don't officially have confirmation, but it does look like Russia authorities have proposed a new draft bill that does look to fine and potentially imprison the illegal use of cryptocurrencies. So, this could be a problem for some people in Russia if this bill does end up getting potentially passed. So I want to talk about that, not creating any FUD, but if this turns out to be true, this could be kind of bad. I mean, Russia does have some influence out there, and, what would happen if the U.S. was to follow in these footsteps? What about if, tomorrow Coinbase is now illegal and nobody can buy and sell Bitcoin? I think that would harm the price. So, do want to talk about that today, but of course it is the Bitcoin Pizza Day, so I don't want it to be all doom and gloom. If that sounds good to you, we're going to talk about short-term price action, long-term price action, why I think Bitcoin is in the danger zone, Russia potentially banning cryptocurrencies, and I think that's exciting enough for today's video, don't you think? If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's dive directly into the charts. Now, you will notice that Bitcoin has had a little bit of a bounce back from falling all the way down to that $8,800 level. Now, I do want to point out that just on the shorter time span, we did have resistance right here. We got hit with it again. However, once we actually tried to bounce around a few times, we were able to break above it. So I am interested to see if short-term Bitcoin will actually fall back down to this level, flipping this short-term resistance as support. Now, the one thing I want to point out is that we are currently struggling right on the 21 exponential moving average on the daily. This is a very critical moving average. You can see, obviously, once we're above it, we generally tend to become bullish, and when we start to fall below it, well, we have these massive drops, like right here, we fell below. You could see crazy drop down to the low side right here. We had another massive drop as soon as we broke below it. And you can see right here, once we finally started to get some traction, we had a nice bounce off of it, and currently we are sitting directly on it. Now, what's interesting is having a look at the Bitcoin price right now, we are literally teetering back and forth between Josh Rager's ultimate price level of 9,150. You guys know I've had Josh on the channel before. I do appreciate his analysis, and he's looking for this $9,150 level to hold. Keep in mind, guys, it is the weekend. CME futures are going to close, and we know what happens when they close. Well, Bitcoin tends to get a little bit crazy, right? And obviously Monday mornings are always hectic. Now, pointing out right here, it does look like we are in a bit of a descending wedge right here. You can see Bitcoin tightening up and falling. Now, usually descending wedges, they do actually end in breakouts to the upside. However, the question is, what if we're actually just in a giant descending wedge and we're about to break out to the downside of the wedge here? Well, long term, that would be bullish, because then that would say that Bitcoin would eventually have a breakout and retest these levels. Could be a great opportunity to accumulate some cheap Bitcoin. However, short term, that could suck. We could go all the way back down to potentially $8,000 for Bitcoin. That would probably shake out some weak hands short term. The good news is that we have been supported by this uptrend. This has been the basically legacy uptrend since Black Thursday when Bitcoin plummeted all the way down to $3,800. We have never fallen below this level. In fact, every time we get down to it, like right here, we have a bounce off. Right here, we had another beautiful bounce off. But currently, we are sitting right on that level today, and we did not have as big of a bounce back. Entering to the weekend, we do have to worry about whether or not this level will hold. If it doesn't, and Bitcoin breaks to the downside, then I'm hoping that we at least get support here around the $7,700 level. If we do start to fall below that, well, then Bitcoin is going to finally start putting in some lower highs, which is not, and lower lows, which is not good for Bitcoin. Currently, we've been putting in, higher low, higher low, higher low. So that's what you want to see, right? You want to see the chart trending upwards. Now, talking about the CME futures, yes, we're going to probably have some kind of a CME futures gap over the weekend, although if we do trade sideways, we might not. But I do want to point out that on the daily chart, we are above the 50, the 100, and the 200 daily moving averages for CME. Now, these averages are different because CME doesn't trade on the weekend. So CME only trades 5 days a week. Therefore, if you actually calculate the moving averages, they're different on this chart versus the traditional spot chart. So you can see right here that in traditional markets, when you are above this pink line, which is the 200 daily moving average, you're genuinely considered to be in a bit of a bull market. In yesterday's video, Tor Demeester said he thinks we are in a bull market. He's looking for a $50,000 Bitcoin. Well, if Bitcoin was to maybe over the weekend, well, it can't do it over the weekend, but Monday morning or maybe the end of today, come down and retest this level, you'll actually notice that that would probably still be supported at around the $8,500 level, and that would still be putting in a higher low, and that could be the last opportunity for cheap Bitcoin, but I know everybody says that. Now, I do want to give a massive shout out to Alessio Rustani. He put out this video earlier today, and he says, get ready for the most dangerous phase of the markets. Now, I know some people out there are arguing whether or not Bitcoin is actually correlated with stocks or not. Regardless of your opinion, I think we can apply the same situation to Bitcoin. So basically, without playing his video, he talks about this sort of zone right here, where if the traditional stocks were to break above, it would essentially have people in a bit of disbelief. During this entire rally from the bottom to the top, in traditional stocks, people have been in disbelief. And you could arguably say the same thing for Bitcoin. Ever since Bitcoin had this crazy plummet down here on Black Thursday, and we've been doing nothing but essentially just putting in an uptrend, lots of people have been in disbelief. Now, I just want to point out that usually when most people all think the same thing, well, they're usually wrong. In fact, there's this awesome book, The Art of Contrary Thinking, right here. If you guys are interested, this book is by Humphrey B. Neal. I've actually been reading it. It's a really awesome book. And on the back right here, he actually says, when everybody thinks alike, everybody is likely wrong. So this is called The Art of Contrary Thinking. Check it out, guys. Not sponsored. I don't have any links. It's just a really good book. And it basically goes into talk about that herd mentality and that most people, if 95% of the people think we're going to go up, like everybody thought that we were going to have this explosive move. Well, what did Bitcoin do? We had a rejection, right? But when Bitcoin was bottoming down here at around $3,000 to $5,000, everybody thought that was it. Bitcoin was dead. It was dying. People were panic selling. And what did we do? Well, from bottom to top, we literally pumped, even just to where we are now, we're up 137%. Think about how many people sold their Bitcoin because they all thought that we were basically just going to go to zero, which Bitcoin's not going to go to zero. So I just want to point that out. Now, we do also have a very critical level, just like Alessio Rustani was talking about in traditional stocks, with Bitcoin as well. And that level, if I actually, put the chart back in here, is the top of this descending broadening wedge. Now, I just want to point out, number one, Bitcoin is above the 21 exponential on the weekly. You can see we've had 2 solid bounces off of it. That is good, okay? Very similar to when Bitcoin broke above it over here. Now, let's talk about the fact that we have 7 weekly candles, plus a red, plus a green, plus a red, which Bitcoin also did back here during the massive 160%, pump from here to last year's all-time high. That's playing out the same. We had a beautiful bounce off the 2 The 200 weekly moving average right here. You know what? Let's not call it a beautiful bounce. It was a sloppy bounce, but it still did support us. And the other thing I want to point out too is if we actually take out the if we look at the target for a descending broadening wedge breakout right here. Now this is assuming if we had the breakout today, maybe we'll go sideways or lower for another couple months. But that target brings us all the way up to about 15,000. Actually, I don't think I put this in here properly. It's a little bit higher than that. It's about 15,000. Yeah, $15,469 or roughly $15,500. And I'll tell you what, these moves can happen quicker than you think. Just like Bitcoin can have this massive candle right here where we go literally from $8,000 all the way down to 3,800 in a day. Let's not forget the fact that Bitcoin also had a ridiculous pump all the way up to $10,300 after it had dipped down to $7,200. It had a 43% pump in one day. These are the types of moves that Bitcoin does. And the traders or the hodlers or whoever you are that are positioned on the right side of the trade are going to be the winners. And exponentially, we have seen that, Bitcoin essentially just goes up linear. Literally, this chart has been putting in higher lows essentially since its creation. So that's just something that I want to mention moving forward. Also, just to talk about miner revenue, as Bitcoin Time Traveler points out, he says, friendly reminder that miner revenue is at the 3-year range low. The last time it happened was Black Thursday, which we spoke about. And then again, Bitcoin was trading 160% just 60 days later. We just spoke about that. The time before that was, guess, the December 2018 bottom. Guys, you can't make this stuff up, okay? These charts don't lie, numbers don't lie. And you can see right here, another thing, shout out to Philip Swift over on Twitter again, the dynamic range NVTS has been closing above the green band. You can see right here, every time it closes above it, Bitcoin either signals a bottom or there is a major rally, okay? And he says the reason that this version is better is because it has a dynamic band, which is much more useful as an oversold versus overbought tool for strategic investing compared to the original signal. And you can see right here, dips down into the green band, price goes up, dips down into the green band again, comes back up. Literally, that is the absolute bottom. And once again, we dipped down into the green band, okay, which potentially signaled a great bottom to buy on Black Thursday. And now we're actually we had a bounce off of the green band and we're trending upwards again. So let me know what you guys think, but I do know that when Bitcoin tends to fall, everybody gets bearish. They say we're going to 7K, we're going to 3K, we're going to 0. When Bitcoin starts rising, everybody gets bullish. And, like this book says, like Alessio Rastani says, most people tend to be on the wrong side of the trade. And right now, I'm hearing a lot of bearish sentiment. I'm hearing people get, negative, saying that we're going to 0, we're going to dump. Guys, if we go back over here and have a look right here at this chart, we're literally still trending upwards, putting in higher lows. So until we look, if I make this video and right after this video, Bitcoin dumps, we come all the way down here, we breach the $7,700 level, we start falling back down into the 7.2K range, well, then maybe I'll change my tune. And listen, hey, I'll change with the price trends. But right now, the trend is your friend until the end. We're putting in higher lows. We're putting in higher highs. I mean, technically right here we didn't, but that was a very short-term trend. So let me know what you think. Long term, guys, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Short term, yeah, great, we could dump. You know what? I'll buy more, okay? It'll be cheaper. Don't you buy things? You don't go to the store. Do you get excited when your favorite item, doubles in price? No. When a store has something on sale, that's when you want to go and buy it, right? So I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. But actually, before we talk about that, I just want to talk a little bit more about there's actually been some more sort of Bitcoin censorship now. This actually came out from the Dollar Vigilante, and what caught my attention was actually the fact that the guy in the video actually mentioned my channel, and that he's been trying to essentially subscribe and he'll be getting unsubscribed. Now, we've seen YouTube do a lot of crazy things lately. My channel got shadow banned for like a week straight. You're also seeing some channels getting their videos taken down and getting strikes from videos that came out 1 year, 2 years ago. Okay, so it's definitely crazy times, but I just wanted to show you guys really quick before we get into the Bitcoin Pizza Day and the Russia news and show you how they are still censoring and now unsubscribing people from YouTube channels.
Here's him trying to subscribe to our channel.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Thomas Scott News. This is absolutely absurd. I just got to show you. Look. It is May 21st. Let me show you. YouTube's been unsubscribing me. I just took screenshots of how they unsubscribed me again. This has been like a week straight. This has been going on longer than a week, but I've been documenting it for a week. They actually unsubscribed me an hour after I watched this video. It makes no sense. Like, I subscribe. Thumbs up. I wonder if it'll do it instantly. Like, yeah, did you see that? Did you see that? Busted right there. It unsubscribes me every day. Not every time. And when as soon as I leave, look! Holy crap! You gotta be kidding me. Because I noticed I was unsubscribed to this guy today. Oh my goodness. Who was I just watching? Okay. This guy right here. Crypto Zombie. Does it do the same thing to Crypto Zombie? Look. Subscribed. Close it up. Yep. Same thing. Wow. What about this guy? Ryan Dawson.
Politics, history, economics.
Subscribe to Ryan Dawson. But you can see right here. Look. Do you see that? Watch this. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, dude.
So, guys, the fact that he showed this on my channel actually really shocked me, and it shows me that there still is some really fishy stuff going on with YouTube censorship in the back. So, guys, basically, like I said, if you haven't checked out my backup channel, it's Crypto Zombie Undead. I don't have any videos up, obviously. I don't plan on like spamming this channel or anything like that. But in case, like for example, the other day, I put out an alert that Bitcoin actually looked like it was going to drop, and several hours before Bitcoin actually had the major drop, YouTube pulled my video. So a bunch of people didn't get the, video of me saying that there was a potential chance of Bitcoin dropping. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out. There's like over 3,500 subscribers already. Thank you for everybody. So in the event that my videos ever do get pulled, you can find me over on this channel. You can go over to my, actually when you go over to my YouTube page, there's right on the side, you'll see like right here, it says Crypto Zombie Official. If you go to the channel you're watching now, it'll say Crypto Zombie Undead. So, yeah, definitely get subscribed if you haven't. I'll leave that link below. And if you're on your mobile device, just above, if you go to the channel, my channel, it'll say channels, like literally channels. Click that and it'll be there below, okay? Anyway, I hate that I have to make these announcements, but it's been crazy. In fact, I've actually temporarily just sort of unlisted a lot of my previous videos, so until this basically crazy time gets over with, I just don't want to get banned or shadow banned or get strikes or anything like that. So I'm treading very lightly until this whole pandemic is over with YouTube. But obviously, guys, all my recent videos, they're definitely still up. But anyway, it is Bitcoin Pizza Day. I had to ramble on about that because the censorship is getting crazy on this platform. But you can see right here, it is the birthday for Bitcoin Pizza Day. Here you go. There's the videos or the balloons going up. So actually, you can see right here, there is an account called Bitcoin Pizza, and it says the Bitcoin Pizza would be worth $91.5 million right now. So yeah, you can go on this. I don't really follow this account because I don't need to be reminded about the price of Bitcoin Pizza every day. But if you're interested, you can check out the Bitcoin Pizza over on Twitter. And this is the original post on Bitcoin Talk where Laszlo says, I will pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas, like maybe too large. Somebody finally agreed to do this, and he paid 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza. So, some people laugh at him. How could he have ever known that it would have become as expensive today, that those Bitcoins would have gained value? But, it was the first real adoption of Bitcoin. And, it just goes to show you, hodl your Bitcoin, right? Also, just so you guys, if you guys are interested, I'll be over on Bitcoin Pizza Day Talk with Girl Gone Crypto and Tech with Catalina. If you're not following them, check them out. I will drop a link on my Twitter. So if you want to actually follow this live, I don't actually have the link right now. My Twitter is @thecryptozombie, and I'll post an update for that later on as well. But also talking about an interesting note today, the number of Tether addresses were actually up, USDT. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But yeah, it's I don't know. A lot of Tether addresses are up. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that means people are waiting to buy the dip. But are they on the opposite side of the trade? Could be possible. And today's bit of FUD, right? And I don't mean to specifically scare people. This is just an article. But the markets are pretty much led by fear, right? Fear of missing out. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FOMO, FUD, right? Well, check this out, guys. So apparently they are saying that according to a report by local news outlet RBC, the State Duma, Russia's parliament, received a fresh set of draft bills on the regulation of cryptocurrency and crypto activities. The bills are an amendment to Russia's criminal code and code of administrative offenses. So I don't know if this will officially go through. This could just be a draft. It may not be anything official just yet, but in the draft, it says individuals and crypto businesses guilty of cryptocurrency violations will be made to pay a hefty fine or serve jail time. Now, they basically say this goes against all ICOs, which, let's be honest, guys, ICOs are a little bit dead at this point. They're a terrible model. I don't really mind if we don't have ICOs, to be honest with you. That's fine with me. But they do go on to say that in the first part of the amendment draft, issuing of cryptocurrency, use of crypto for payments, or circulating digital currency would earn a steep fine of 500,000 rubles or $7,000 for an individual, or 2 million rubles, which is $28,000 for companies, okay? And then they do also mention jail time, which is crazy. Also, individuals and businesses who use crypto for payment of goods or services run the risk of having their assets seized by authorities, along with a fine range from 6,000 to 14,000. Furthermore, the illegal use of Russia's facilities on the country's territory for Bitcoin mining. So they're not going to allow potential Bitcoin mining in Russia. This is also punishable under the draft with steep fines as well. They have a second draft bill also that proposes to fine and imprison crypto violations that cause damage to Russians or the states and individuals who purchase crypto for fiat through bank transfers using banks in Russia. So this would mean that maybe you won't be able to now use banks in Russia to purchase cryptocurrencies. Offenders will be slammed with a $14,000 fine or a prison sentence for up to 7 years. This is crazy. Does any of my viewers out there, anybody watching, are you from Russia? Can you confirm this? Because this is insane. And if this trickles over into the US, I mean, people talk about, could you ever kill Bitcoin? No. You can't kill Bitcoin. Bitcoin is borderless. Bitcoin is, technically censorship resistant, but if they scare their citizens or they cut off these fiat on-ramps or they don't allow banks to use it, they could literally make the difficulty of using Bitcoin so hard for the average user that it could definitely extremely stifle the innovation moving forward. Now, they say that while the RBC state that internal sources have attested to the legitimacy of the draft bills, chairman of the State Duma's Financial Markets Committee also confirmed the genuineness of the bills. Okay, so he's saying this is genuine. Essentially the documents have not confirmed a final version. So it's pretty scary, guys. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, if this goes through, this could be very difficult for Bitcoin adoption. And this is what we've been scared of, is having basically governments coming down and saying, what if the government came out tomorrow and said, in the US, guys, can't buy Bitcoin. It's illegal. Coinbase, shut it down. What about all the money in Coinbase? Do they give us a certain time? Or what if they say, well, now if you're holding Bitcoin, it's illegal. Now we're sitting here, we're holding all this Bitcoin. We can't legally buy anything with it. We're not allowed to convert it back into dollars. What do you do? Scary times, guys. Please let me know what you think about this. I think at the end of the day, they're just better off learning how to tax it, learning how to just get involved with it rather than trying to ban it. Look at what they do. The war on drugs, right? Brought more drugs. War on terror, brought more terror. War on Bitcoin might just drive people to get some more Bitcoin, right? I don't know. Could be good, but probably won't be short term. Let me know what you guys think. But I do want to end on some positive news. It is Bitcoin Pizza Day. So we do have Jack Dorsey. You may know him as the billionaire CEO of Twitter and mobile payments company Square. He is very Bitcoin savvy. In fact, his bio on Twitter is literally just #Bitcoin. Well, he's giving $5 million to Humanity Forward, which is a group launched by former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang to build the case for universal basic income. So universal basic income, will it be paid in Bitcoin? Probably not, but some people are kind of excited about that. And on that note, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Bitcoin is still hanging around that critical level. We are above the $9,150 level that my buddy, Josh Rager is very concerned about. So let's see if Bitcoin can hold above this $9,150 level. If not, could get a little bit turbulent over times, but just friendly reminder, when everybody's bearish, they're usually wrong. When everybody's bullish, they're usually wrong. Usually whatever the herd does, well, you should probably reconsider your stance. And so that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Go order yourself a Bitcoin pizza and celebrate. Just be careful if you're using Bitcoin to buy it. That pizza could end up being worth millions of dollars in just a few years. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.